Hello, TheLadyKeziah here. Did you know we are born twice? Yes, we are born twice. This video seeks to address why self-awareness is your real day one. Yes, we are born twice. The first time is a biological event, a messy, loud entrance into a world we didn't choose. The second time, is a psychological event. It is the moment you become truly self-aware. Most people spend their entire existence in the pre-aware phase, living out a script written by their parents, culture, or their insecurities. However, the moment you wake up to your own agency, you stop being a character in someone else's play and start becoming the architect of your own reality. Let's consider the following so you get a deeper understanding into what I mean. Number 1, the sleepwalking years. The sleepwalking years. Before self-awareness, we are effectively sleepwalking. We make choices based on shoots. I should get a degree. I should get another degree. I should get a higher degree. I should marry this person. I should marry into that kind of family. I should want that promotion. Yeah. In this state, we don't have a life. In this state, we don't have a life. We have a set of habits handed down to us. We are reactive, moving through the world like a pinball hitting bumpers. When we feel unfulfilled, we blame the bumpers. We blame the marriage partners, the job, the economy, the families we come from, everybody else but ourselves. True life begins when you realize you aren't the ball. You are the player holding the flippers. Number 2, the poison of external obsession. The greatest obstacle to this second birth is the obsession with other people's lives. In the digital age, this has become a global epidemic. We spend our most valuable currency, attention, on curated versions of other people's success. When you obsess over someone else's life, you are essentially trying to build your house using another person's blueprints. It would never fit your landscape. Yes, that can never fit your landscape. Comparison is a thief that doesn't just steal your joy, it steals your time. Every minute spent wondering why they have a perfect marriage, a perfect body, a perfect this, a perfect that, is a minute you aren't spending. You aren't spending diagnosing why your own foundation is cracked. Should I repeat? Every minute spent wondering why they have a perfect this, a perfect that, is a minute you aren't spending diagnosing why your own foundation is cracked. Number 3, the mechanics of reinvention. If you followed me for a minute, you know I talk about reinvention the most. But reinvention to me isn't about becoming someone else. Hello. Reinvention isn't becoming a mean, standoffish character, arrogant. No, it is not becoming someone else. Because all of a sudden you've arisen from your brokenness. No, reinvention isn't about becoming someone else. It's about stripping away the layers of who you thought you had to be to find out who you actually are. Should I repeat? I don't know about you, but anytime you hear me talking about reinvention, I mean stripping away the layers of who you thought you had to be to find out who you actually are. Once you are self-aware, you can no longer plead ignorance. That's one thing, one amazing, one fantastic thing about self-awareness. Once you are self-aware, you can no longer plead ignorance. You see the patterns. You see the married single trap. You see the energy leaks in your health, your finances. You see the things that are not supposed to be. Reinvention requires 3 specific actions too. Number 1, the audit. Number 2, the revocation. And number 3, the pivot. Why the audit? In reinvention, identify which parts of your life are inherited and which parts are chosen. This is so key. Without this, there is no reinvention. So audit, identifying which parts of your life is inherited and which part is chosen. As a matter of fact, which parts are just handed to you and which parts you have decided to choose for yourself. That is the audit. That happens once there's reinvention. The revocation, formally deciding that you no longer give anyone permission to make you miserable or keep you small. In my book, Getting Married and Staying Married, I said, God has never given anybody the permission to make another person's life miserable, not even in the name of marriage. And in reinvention, the revocation also means that you finally decide that you no longer give anyone permission to make you miserable or keep you small. That is the revocation. Then the pivot, making small, deliberate changes that align your daily doing with your internal being. Get this right, because it is crucial. Making small, deliberate changes, daily changes that align with your doing and embraces your internal being. Number 4, the mandate of the present. The most common excuse for staying stuck is the if only trap. If only I had started sooner. Why am I reinventing my life in my 50s? If only I had this awareness when I was in my 30s, 40s. No. That is a trap. And that is the number 4, the mandate of the present. Because the most common excuse for staying stuck is the if only trap. If only I'd come from that family. If only I'd married into that family. If only I wasn't in that kind of marriage. If only I had more money. If only my life is as beautiful as his. Self-awareness bends these excuses away. Yes, self-awareness bends all these excuses away. It forces you to realize that the only moment you have, the only moment you have any power, the only moment you have any power over is the one you are standing in right now. Let me take my time and say this again. Self-awareness forces you to realize that the only moment you have any power over is the one you are standing in right now. Reinvention doesn't require a miracle. Hello? Reinvention, it doesn't need you to go for any deliverance. It doesn't require any miracle. It requires a decision. A decision. It is the understanding that while you cannot change the first half of the book, you are currently holding the pen for the second or the final half. Should I repeat? Reinvention doesn't need any miracle. It requires your decision. It is the understanding that while you cannot go back to the very beginning to make everything anew, you are currently holding the pen for the other parts of your life, as long as there is life. God and the universe have provided the materials, the intellect, the breath, the capacity for love, but they have left the construction to you and I. A life left without self-awareness is just a long rehearsal for a show that will never open. Should I repeat? A life left without self-awareness is just a long rehearsal for a show that never opens. The moment you look inward and take responsibility for your own fulfillment, the curtains finally rises. Should I repeat? The very moment you look inward and take responsibility for your own fulfillment, that is the moment the curtains finally rises. Think about these things in the comment section. Let me hear your thoughts too. Much love and blessings.